Hello, hello. Welcome to Beautiful Minds podcast. My name is Jamie Taylor, and I am a licensed professional counselor. Today, we have the privilege to sit and chat with FabulousRae. Would you mind introducing yourself for us?
So my name is Ray. I like to go by FabulousRae. I have my own gaming channel, and I like to show my weird, fun personality on the internet.
Got it. Tell me a little bit about that fun and personality that you were referencing.
Well, you never know what you're gonna expect with that. I might rap a beat, go on a little rant,
all right.
cry. So
Okay.
you never know.
Wide range of expectations for the show.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate you joining us today.
Anytime.
Yeah, you selected a couple of topics, right, that seem to hit close to home, which I'm excited to talk about. The first is the role of humor in mental health, comedy, and coping. So tell me about that. What made you select that as a topic?
So I chose that because humor, I'm a very comedic person. I can almost make anybody laugh.
Got it.
I chose that because I use humor sometimes to get through mental health situations. I've been in situations and scenarios where I've used it personally to get myself through it or have helped someone else in their situation, make them laugh and make them temporarily forget what they're going through at the moment.
Got it. So, the way my brain works, especially being a therapist, my question would be, are you using humor as a method of avoidance, like to avoid pain associated with mental health, or to cope? And I don't know if you know the difference. If you do.
So I guess it's really a little bit of both.
Okay.
If it's really tough, I use it to avoid because I don't want to think about that right now, and I want to think about the good, happy, laughter side of it.
Right.
And then other times where I know I just have to go through it, I can use that as motivation of, okay, there's something better on the other side. So
Got it. Yeah. So I know you were here when we did the values exercise, right?
Yeah.
Was humor one of your core values, just out of curiosity?
Surprisingly, no, it was not.
No way. Okay. The reason why I ask is because, of course, when it comes to our core values, if we're in line with our core values, it leads to a more fulfilling life. A lot of us are directionless when it comes to our behaviors. And so we need to know the way you want to live your life, the legacy you want to leave behind, what you want to stand for, what you want to do with your brief time on this planet, so on and so forth, right? And so if we align our behaviors with those values, it leads to fulfillment. So it's kind of shocking to hear that humor isn't one of those values to align yourself with, right? What are your values?
So from what I remember, because it was a long time ago,
Right.
my core values are honesty, just being there for people, whether it's my family or friends. I guess service. I like to serve.
That's
and
cool.
Definitely religion's up there for me. I have my own path with that, but that's a big thing in my life. And then I don't even remember my top 5.
I mean, that's okay. I mean, that's enlightening enough.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So then, is humor fulfilling? What does it feel like when you're doing your YouTube, so on and so forth, when you're playing? Is there humor involved in that?
Yes, there is humor involved in that. Sometimes it's just something that will happen in the game that I don't expect, and I'm like, have a weird reaction, like, what the? Or is something I'm talking about, because I try to talk about current events or topics, and
cool.
It just something funny might appear, be like I'm talking about my day or something, and I'm like, this just happened. I don't even know why it happened, but just stuff like that, just the small things, really.
Got it. So it's not something that you just use when you're struggling with a stressor or something related to mental health. It's a big part of your life.
Yeah, it's a big part.
Gotcha. I appreciate you sharing.
Of course.
So another thing that we planned to kind of talk about, just to kind of segue, was relationships, right? Why that face to begin with?
Well, because my answer is, I don't know. It's a little wild, but
You can be wild, be your authentic self. So, one thing was relationships and dating, cultural dynamics and challenges. What made you want to talk about that?
so I talk about that because I've always had my personal issue with relationships and dating, and then I wasn't planning on doing this, but I'm gonna kind of connect it to like how I see my mother in that situation as well.
Okay.
So like growing up, I think I'm a handsome looking
Yeah,
fellow.
yeah.
But most girls, at least I like, don't think so. So I was
Ah,
always confused of they say they want a guy like me, but yet they, I don't want to say choose a dirt bag, but they choose someone that's not like me at all. And I never understood that because it's like, why say one thing when you go the opposite way?
got it. What's a guy like you?
A guy like me is a fun-loving guy who likes to do adventurous things, talk, deeply about whatever, and trying to think of more what is like me.
Mm,
I guess really just actually loving your partner,
right.
because words are always, you can say, "Oh, I love you," but actually showing it through your actions and stuff like that. So I think
Got it.
that's a guy like me. And there's some guys out there who say that they do that, but they don't hold up their end of the deal.
Got it. Yeah, that brings me to where my mind kind of traveled to. So after you explained, the kind of guy that you are, and you said that women tend to choose someone different. How do the other guys differ from you?
Well, and this is just, personal experience. Again, it could be different for anybody
For sure.
else. But like me in middle school, I remember there was a surprisingly actually attractive girl who liked me. But I think she just thought I was cute because I wore button-up shirts and I was all like nerdy. Like there's one character on Nickelodeon. I think like Steve Urkel. I looked like him back in middle school.
Got it.
So she thought I was
Steve
cute.
Urkel or Stefan? No, I'm just
Okay. But I look like him. And then like her boyfriend looked a lot like Octavia over here, but more
Wow.
mean, rude looking. Like he always came up to me and was like, "Why you talking to my girl?" I'm like, "The girl's the one talking to me." Like I didn't initiate conversation. I mean, me being a sixth grader at the time, I was afraid of him. But it's just stuff like that of like I wondered like why would she date someone who's rude to a sixth grader? Like you're in eighth grade. Why are you picking on someone smaller than you that you know he can beat up and stuff like that?
Got it. So you were surprised that someone attractive would be attracted to you. Did you find yourself attractive back then?
In sixth grade, no. I look back now, I'm like, gosh, what was I doing?
I feel like we all have that same
But
experience.
I definitely say my glow up didn't really happen to me till my sophomore year in high school. And still even then, I still noticed that it was the same situation. Like even though I changed, I kind of became more of myself coming into manhood and stuff like that. There were still girls that, noticed me, but were still, oh, he's too thin, blah, blah, blah. Versus I want a big, stronger guy, stuff like that. I'm like, okay.
Got it.
So.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense. So then what did that feel like emotionally then?
I mean, emotionally, I felt like I was alone. I had friends, but they couldn't understand because they all had relationships.
Right.
I was always the friend, where if there's 7 of us, that's an odd number because I don't have a significant other with me. It felt very lonely and challenging, and still even to this day, I have felt like that sometimes, but I just roll with it.
What do you mean to this day? What does that look like? Paint the picture.
Because most of everyone that I associate with is already in their married or dating stage, so I think that's just a part of life. You're gonna grow up with people. Of course, we're gonna get married and have children. So.
Got you. So now that you are in adulthood, and how old are you, if you don't mind my asking?
I'm 23. I know I'm a baby to some people.
He needs some milk. So where's your confidence level now as an adult?
Confidence level? I'm gonna be honest. It's only really since high school and college, if there was like a 0 to 100 scale, it might be at 65 right now.
All right. Okay.
When I was in middle school, as I was saying before, it's probably like at a 45. So not that big of a change. I'd hope to have more confidence, and of course I try to do things to get more confidence. But we're working on it every day.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, what do you think it would take to get from like a 65 to maybe a 70?
Definitely, I'm a homebody for sure, and that's kind of where the gaming comes in. So with me going out, I'm not saying like parties and bars, but just going out and actively doing stuff, I think that would bring out the confidence more.
Okay. Are you open to dating? Do you want to? Are you there?
I am. I just need to know personally for me what that brings, because of course with dating you're going to have your boundaries that you set, and making sure that you have your needs for your partner, and I just want to make sure that I do that to the best of my ability, because from experiences I've had of dating have not been well.
Tell me about those experiences.
I'm actually going to throw that one back on you.
Okay. Okay. How so? Let me see if I'll catch it.
Well, I mean, as a therapist, I did a little therapy in my college time.
Nice.
So I was just wondering what that's like, on you, either relationship or, the previous topic with the comedic humor.
So the question is, where does humor show up for me as a therapist? And are you asking me about my relationships specifically?
You can answer both.
Humor isn't a core value of mine, I would say. Although I enjoy it, I think it has a place. I think it's important. I try not to engage in avoidance, right? When it comes to my emotions, I have a whole emotion regulation plan where you pause, get away from the stimuli, identify your emotions, process them, then soothe. And so for me, it's yoga, grounding techniques, nature is kind of like, those are my go-to coping strategies. And when it comes to relationships, people don't understand. As therapists, we are regular schmegular human beings. Us therapists see therapists, you know what I mean? It's a work in progress even for us as well. I'm a big proponent of, making sure pain isn't wasted pain. We are living, breathing beings. So as long as we are living, right, we're going to experience emotional pain. So the main thing for me is making sure it's not wasted. Can we squeeze the juices out of it? Even previous relationships. What can I take with me? What did I learn about my boundaries, my likes, my dislikes, my non-negotiables, right? How did I show up and cause pain, right? What can I learn from that type of thing? Do you feel like you've learned how you maybe cause pain, your likes, your dislikes, what you're looking for?
Yes. And most of that, and I think it was just I met the wrong people, because I was just being myself. And with me being myself, they didn't fully accept me. And for a while, I had to realize that it wasn't my fault, because I was just doing how I do. Me being FabulousRae. And just knowing that, hey, they didn't like FabulousRae. I literally had a girlfriend who literally told me, because I was changing, she's like, I don't like you now. I like the older you, or the younger you, I should say. And I was like, you don't want me to change and evolve in our relationship,
Right.
So that didn't work out. So
got it. Yeah, we are ever evolving, ever changing human beings. And the last thing I will say is, the vulnerability is kind of like the birthplace of connection. It requires us to be our authentic selves, which can be scary. So kudos to you for understanding that you needed to be your authentic self, allow yourself to be seen fully, which is a risk that we take that can lead to a solid and more close connection or to pain. But that's the risk that we take every time, allowing ourselves to be seen.
The bigger the risk, the greater the reward.
Hey.
So there you go.
But again, thank you so much for joining us. I have thoroughly enjoyed talking with you. And catching what you threw at me as well.
It's the same here.
Yeah, so tell us, where can we find your gaming YouTube channel for those who want to tune in?
All right, so you can check me out at FabulousRae. That's the name of my gaming channel, and I'm also on TikTok and Instagram as well, FabulousRae Gaming. So,
Nice. Well, that concludes Beautiful Minds podcast, this episode, and we hope to see you again next time.